David Friedenberg. Good evening. Hope the fish were biting today. Well, David, as my grandfather used to say, you can wish in one hand and crap in the other. See which fills up first. Because we didn't fill the boat up today, that's for sure. We had, so it was my buddy and I, Captain Todd, and we floated the Salmon River on Saturday, and it was abysmal, quite honestly. Todd and I plug fished from Altmar to 2A, and it became clear pretty quickly. We put lures in a lot of spots. We had one bite. This was Thursday, and he was up in the front of the boat looking most all the time while I was rowing, and he saw one fish on gravel in one spot. We never saw fresh gravel, and I'm seeing pictures of dropbacks being caught, but we just didn't see any fish anywhere in between the big holes, and you can't see down in the big deep stuff. There's fish up top, and again, I'm hearing that the hatchery is just loaded with them, which is pretty common every year. All of a sudden, whether for whatever the reasoning is, all of a sudden you'll see a push of dropbacks come down, and I'm pretty sure the hatchery is a couple weeks away from even stripping eggs. So we made the decision today to go fish Oswego with our clients, and it rained yesterday and Thursday night, harder than I thought. And we got up there, and the current and water flow was spot on. I made the corner right there between the hotels to go down to the drift boat ramp, and it was, man, looked real nice, Clark, real nice. And it had color to it. It wasn't dirty, but it was green and it was opaque. But I still thought we were going to do them. I just figured we'd be running, everything would be Fire Tiger, rattling Fire Tiger. And that should have been all you needed if they were there. And Todd and I tortured it. I mean, we were the only boats there. For a Saturday morning, I was shocked. There was nobody in the harbor trolling. Nobody. It was a pretty stiff west wind. Didn't have a lot of north in it till later in the day. I made 3 passes up in the river from the 104 bridge all the way down below Cahill's. Todd and I both did three plug runs side by side, covering every seam down there in that lower river. And when those fish are there, there's not much that's more fun. You're back trolling for those browns or whatever's in there. There could be steelhead in there, lake trout, salmon, kings and cohos easily. Rainbows, drop back steelhead from up above the upper river. So we went out into the harbor, and Todd conveniently let me go first. And I hung a right at the Port Authority, and I went all the way downwind to the cut. And when I got to the cut, I had to make a decision because I was going to go up the east side of the east wall, and that would have been protected, and I could have went back and forth. But then I'm another 60 yards committed out there, and the farther east you got, the more that wind really picked up. And so I was in 3 and 4 foot rollers over there, just soft rollers, but that wind wanted to push me into shore. So when I spun the boat around, I didn't go through the cut. I spun the boat around before the cut, but we hadn't hit anything on the way over. Had I hit something, I really would have stayed in there and toughed it out and worked it. But rowing back into that wind from the cut all the way past the front of the Port Authority to the river again took a lot out of me. I haven't done that in a long time. And I had one big guy in the boat today and another regular sized guy. And the boat I'm rowing today is a big boat, although it rows high in the water. In an open water, it's great. So it rode fairly well. But man, I had to really put my back into it to get back into that wind. But again, if I'd hit 2-3 of them out there, I would have spun right back around and done it again because they had to be there somewhere. We tortured that today. Tortured it. I bet you I did that run 15 times today. A couple times all the way down in front of the silos and then back up along the wall. And on the marina side, Christ, Todd went in and did a circle in the marina. There was birds, there were ducks all over the place. I assume there was bait there, but if there was bait there didn't seem to be any predators around them. And brown trout are funny. If you find brown trout, you usually catch them. They're not the hardest fish to catch, and they'll tell you when they're around. Especially when you're trolling, all of a sudden you could fire 6 rods at the same time because you found them. So that was my day today. We rode the harbor in beautiful sunny skies 1 minute and snow squalls the next minute, and you could see the spray because the lake was rolling. The spray coming over the wall out there, the west wall, was 15 feet in the air, just Okay, let's see who's here tonight. Because the next thing we're going to announce is the weekly WalleyeFest ticket numbered raffle winner. This week I pulled the number and the name, so now we don't have to worry about that anymore. It was number 252. We've sold, as of this moment, right before I went online, we'd sold 289 tickets so far. So we're gaining every day. We just got to really start gaining. Ticket number 252 is Mike Hoover. Mike Hoover, everybody. And I'm pretty sure him and his wife Tammy are watching because they normally comment. So Mike Hoover won. What did he win, Matt? Well, he won a gift card, the second $25 gift card. So Mike is now fishing for free. This means Mike's fishing for free. I've got a sticker. I've got a half dozen of Brian Hammond B Hammer tackle, his casting worm harnesses. I've got a half dozen of those, and I've got some I1 blade baits. So Mike Hoover, you're going to get a hold of me, and I'm going to send them out to you in the mail on Monday, so you have them in plenty of time for WalleyeFest. Congratulations, buddy. So you're fishing for free. Ticket number 252. I was saying something before that, though. Dave Friedenberg, Mike Urema, Merlin Johnson. Mike Urema is in the Illinois River, and he said it was -6 wind chill at the ramp this morning. Ooh. Don Birdie, good evening. How are you, my friend? Hook and Eyes, Dennis, what's up? Arms finally got some feeling in them last night. So Dennis posted pictures. He was with Dennis was with Captain Nick Sokolowski, Soko Charters, and they were out on Cuba Lake putting a whooping. I shared one of Nick's posts, or maybe it was Dennis's, about the trip. He said he's just getting feeling back into his arms, which I understand, man. That's awesome. Great. I'm hoping to get out there soon, very soon. Don Terry, what's going on, Don? Merlin said my dad used to say the same thing. God rest his soul. Yep. You'd say something to Gramp like, "Boy, I wish I had this or that," or something that whatever. He'd be like, well, you can wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which fills up first. Which I guess that really means if you want it that bad, go get it. Earn it. Figure it out. Do it. Don't just wish for it. Go do it. I guess I never really realized that that's what that meant until just now. Until I just talked it out, right? Rumble Seat, how you doing, my friend? Hiram. Evening. Checked out Cleveland yesterday. Water 2 to 3 feet low. Oh, yeah. Yep. And the river up in Oswego was up today, which is connected to our lake. So when our lake's running, Oswego's running. When our lake's shut off, Oswego's shut off. Mary Burt, good evening. Stephen Eddy, hello, Walleye King. No salmon, though. No nothing, Stephen. It was a big old fat goose egg. Can't believe it. I'm still in shock. I mean, so obviously, so you break it down. It's one of two things. If there was fish there, they absolutely didn't want anything that either of us had, and we ran multiple different sets of plugs, tried and true plugs. Let me tell you, it's not like this is the first time we've ever done this. I mean, caught a lot of fish over there, and the water was perfect. I mean, you had a good current. There was multiple different seams. It really was the perfect flow. So if they were there, they were completely off and didn't want anything that we had. I find that hard to believe. I just historically, if you get something near a brown trout, they eat it. Pretty much anything in that lake, quite honestly. It's so big that I just think that when they see food, they're like, right on, let's get it. And or they were just not there at all. And I don't know. I don't really understand why they wouldn't be. This is the time. I mean, it's not too early. It's not too cold. It's not too anything. They should be there now. And they sure didn't seem to be. So which is it? Is it weren't interested or not there? Bob Rumbleseat says, I saw Mike Urima's name on last year's NWT final board yesterday morning on the Pursuit channel at 6:20 a.m. Quite the accomplishment. It was nice to see. Yeah. Yep, that's awesome. That's awesome. Carl Kapfer, how you doing? Tim Graver, how you doing? Fishing, buddy. David Gould, hello, everyone. Nice meet. Hello, everyone. Meet nice guy yesterday, Captain Casey Prisco. Great guy. I have met Casey once in passing in the tackle shop. I was playing with his dog. And
that's dating RJ's mom? Or used to?
Gail Arnold, I'm working on one of the greatest flies ever. All right, right on. Dan Campus, howdy. Dan, I called you back after I got your message. So after we hang up, you can give me a holler back. TG, what's going on? Eric Wisniewski, I love my buddy Wiz. He texts me and he goes, listen, I'm tired, dude. So how long till you're going on? Right on, buddy. I love you. And after that was after he sent me pictures of the giant pumpkin seeds that he's still catching through the ice. I love it. Gary Walters, Aaron Lussier, Michelle Love, John Burrows, Louis LaPlante, Michelle Love. Congratulations, Mike. Scott Duranda, good evening. Matt Vitelloni. Hey, Matt, nice meeting and chatting with you this past Sunday at the sports show. Thank you very much, Matt. Yes, you too. Mimi, hi, Matt. Are you doing the largest fish at each weigh station like the Lions Club did, 25 per day? I'm not sure yet, Mimi. We're looking for, not sure yet. It's on the list of possibilities, but I'm trying to, I don't know yet. How about that? That was a direct answer, right? Hooking Eyes. I want to book Hooking Eyes. I want to book another trip with Nick for Cayuga. Had an absolute blast. Yeah. Yep. It's fun watching it's fun seeing those pictures. I remember last year, and I wanted to get down there last year, and I didn't do it either. Hard to leave a night for me some days, some weeks, some months. I want to be out here every day, but there's so much else to do too. Rumble seat. There may have been no fish, or they were not interested. And third, you just suck at fishing.
You say that all the time.
You suck at fishing. Hey, how do you like that? Jeez. Oh, funny. Funny. Damn it, that's funny. Oh, shit, that's funny. God damn it. That's funny right there. I'm still laughing. Well, maybe you just suck at fishing. Well, maybe you suck. Oh, speaking of sucking.
How do you start off a sentence like that?
Speaking of sucking. So I had quite a few concerned friends send me pictures because they saw somebody wearing WalleyeFest gear, and I know the person, Mark Pistello. I've talked to him already. He reached out to me, and because I'm assuming must be a bunch of people said something to him. Mark didn't do anything wrong. Mark was solicited online with what he thought was legitimate merchandise with our logo on it. And our logo is trademarked and copyrighted. And whoever is doing that and soliciting people on Facebook, even though Mark got his actual t-shirts that he ordered, they're sucking that right from us. That's not their logo. It's ours. It's protected. And so everything that someone else is selling out there is stealing. Everything. I don't know. I don't know who's doing it, but we have people on that already, so they'll figure that out. I don't know, but that sucks. Speaking of sucking, that sucks. If you see these things, don't. It's not licensed merchandise. We're not ready to sell merchandise yet. That's something that's going to be a little later on, and those people are stealing from us. I don't know how else to say that. I've never had something like this happen before, and the reaction I've had this afternoon really ruined my day. Quite honestly, my afternoon. Yeah. We went to the Home and Garden Show, and I'm still trying to figure out how to stop this, and I've never had somebody, do something like this. And I don't know, maybe it happens to everybody nowadays in these businesses, but these people are making their living off of stealing from people, and with every scam that's out there, we all hear that all the time. Oh, it's a scam, but it's like they're special. They get to make up their own rules and do whatever they want. And, I don't know. It sucks. It sucks. And Courtney calls me naive because I believe in the inherent goodness of everybody. And that's all I want to talk about. And that's all I want to be surrounded by. And is people that have that desire to be more than petty and wrapped up in the things of the world at every moment of every day and drama and all that shit. I'm all positivity all the time, period. And I won't listen to anything else. And I don't want to hear anything else, and I don't surround myself with anything else. And I'm not going to get off on a tangent, but this news today that someone is purposely going around and duping people, that's premeditated. That's horrible. And yeah, it's me, and I guess I never really realized it before, but It's funny. This world we live in is so loose in a lot of ways, not like it used to be. And when somebody does something, there's no consequences either. So, what's the deterrent to ever stop doing that behavior? Um, and in these people that prey on all walks of life. It used to be the elderly that got preyed on. My 85-year-old next door neighbor they've tried to scam her with the grandson or grandchild, bit, and they scare the shit out of these older people and say, "Oh, it's your grandson, I got a bad connection. It doesn't sound like me, but it's me. Send me all this money. I'm in, that those people are like they thought that up. They thought that up and said, I'm going to go scam people. Somebody thought this up too. Hey, that's a cool logo. I'm going to steal it and profit from it. Who does that? I guess a lot of people, but we're going to lighten it up. I'm going to read Rumbleseed's comment again. He goes, there may have been no fish or they were not interested. And third, you just suck at fishing. So that'll lighten the mood. We'll go back to Bob telling me I suck at fishing. Oh, hey now. Gail Arnold. Do fish laugh at us during their mating season? I don't know. They're probably wondering why we're all a bunch of peeping toms looking down into the water while they're doing their business. Sorry, I was reading Eric's question. Mark is a dear. Eric Wazlewski said Mark is a dear friend and has a heart of great proportions. Prayers. I don't. Why is something wrong with Mark?
Speaking of Mark, prayers go out to him for a fast recovery.
Oh, I didn't know anything was wrong. He didn't tell me that today when we were talking. Okay. I hope. I met Mark. I met Mark a couple times. I remember him from my tackle shop in the old days, although I don't really remember. I remember seeing him. But then he talked to me at the Ice Bowl, and we got a chance to chat. And he's the one that reached out to me because somebody, as soon as he posted that picture, somebody must have said something to him. And he messaged me and immediately said, man, I'm so sorry. I have no idea that this wasn't you and it wasn't legitimate. And he goes, I saw the ad for it the day I bought my ticket, the first day you started selling them. So in Mark's mind, he's helping, he's supporting. And that's what makes this so distasteful to me, because someone's purposely doing that to people, purposely and maliciously doing something that's not right to gain. And in this case, it's the almighty dollar, because we all learned through COVID, and I'm going to go off on a tangent, but we all learned through COVID that money is the only thing that matters. And all these people that kept saying, oh, we're in this together. No, that was a lie. The people that were in it together were the politicians and the pharmaceutical companies and the people that were scaring the shit out of people. Thank God that this wasn't as bad as they made it out to be. Thank God. Because no one wants to see that. And these people are doing this kind of stuff. Larry Kelly says they call those scammers bottom feeders. So they're profiting off other people's sweat. Captain Jason, unfortunately, you'll need to send them a cease and desist letter to stop the illegal activity. Right, because they'll listen to that. You're like, oh, you're right. If you could even find out a name to these things, because for every layer of the internet, there's 17 ways to get around it, and someone's making money from us now, and so everyone else looks the other way. They just like, well, whatever. Mimi, I talked to some old friends of mine, and that's why we want you to have an open meeting at the Lakeside Outfitters. People faint. They're really not sure what to think. People faint. They're really not sure what to think, and they're having a hard time joining. Sure, Mimi. You messaged me that earlier. Yeah, sure, absolutely. But too, like, they don't know what to think. What's not to? I don't know what's to think. I mean, we're trying to do something.
Lakeside said they would help people sign up.
Yeah, Lakeside said they would help people sign up. But you're asking me to come down and have a meeting with everybody. I'm sure. Tell me when and where. I'll be there. Absolutely. I must have said something because Dagoos said, put that on a shirt. Put what on a shirt?
You can wish in one hand and shit in the other.
Oh.
Maybe.
Oh, Wiz said cancer. God, that's such an ugly word. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks because that day that I met him, he talked to me like we were old best friends, and you could see he's a Mark is a mountain of a man, and you could see, you said he's got a big heart. That seems pretty obvious, and loves fishing and loves this lake. Oh no, he said 3 reasons you didn't catch fish. Oh yeah. Oh man, that made me bust right out laughing. I'm gonna call Todd, my buddy Todd Sheltra, and I'm gonna text him that same thing and say, listen, here's what happened today, and it's really your fault. And there's 3 reasons why it didn't happen. There was no fish there. They didn't want what we had, and you suck. He'll be so offended. But hey, listen. He said be a guide. It's easy money, no problem. Guaranteed fish. Man, today I didn't expect today. I turned that corner, like I say, off First Street, and you can see the river for the first time in between right there below the 104 bridge. And you know what it looks like. You fish it enough, you can tell when she's rolling right. And man, I saw it. And I'm like, I was licking my chops because those are those fun days over there. You could have 30 fish mornings over there when those browns are in there eating and there's bait. And that is fun. You got 4 rods out in front of you like this, and they're spread like this and like this, and everything's wiggling around, and all of a sudden one just goes, and you're like, yeah, I got it, and everything. I just love it. It's, yes, it's trolling, but that moment of bite, unlike a downrigger where you don't really see that bite, you do on like a dipsy diver rod or a copper rod, where it really just reefs over. And those big trout, even a small brown comes in and attacks at breakneck speed compared to like a walleye or even a smallmouth. Those trout will come in from a long ways away. And that water out in the big lake is so clear that they really are looking from a long way. They come in, they don't just nibble it, they come in and just and kill it, keep right on going. Gail, I just read what you wrote, and I'm not saying, believe me, I'm not saying that the virus is not real by any means. That's not my point. I'm just saying that what we were told, just simply, most of it wasn't true. And it was.
And now today an article came out saying that those test strips have some sort of horrible chemical on them that people are having to call poison control, and some people have died just from those test kits, those at-home test kits.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard
poison control.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard Courtney say that, but these tests, Gail heard you say it because she goes, "You're right." Um,
That is ridiculous.
yeah, I want on the small scale that I can immediately touch. That's why I want to do this with everybody on a daily basis. That's why I want to do Walleye Fest. That's why I want to do as much good as I can possibly do for as many people because I enjoy that. I enjoy no different than when I'm guiding fishing or whether we're doing a video or whether what doesn't matter. If someone else is going to get enjoyment out of it, then I want to make sure that I try to give you the most enjoyment. And with Walleye Fest. So tonight, Courtney and I went to the Home and Garden Show. And it was for a lot of reasons, but I purposely went going to find and handpick more vendors for the festival, you know. And we met three incredible businesses tonight, and a lot of that at the home show is just corporate, and they send people out to man a booth. They have no connection to the business, and most of them sit there and they, you know, whatever, they watch people walk by. But we picked three really great businesses that we talked to that were local, that were families, that were real people. Um, because then it will benefit them to have the exposure of the thousands of people that are going to come to Walleye Fest, you know. And so it's my goal in everything that I do is to try and spread a little bit of joy, a smile, something to look forward to, something fun. God forbid we have a little bit of fun. Remember when we were kids and we had fun all the time? You know, adulthood doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to, it's still our life. We're still allowed to have fun, you know, and we can do it in good ways together. Um, and Walleye Fest is going to take everything I got to pull off and all of my business connections, but we're doing it because people want to be involved in something that's good and fun. So why not? And everything we do is mutually beneficial for each business. And the end result is we give you, the customer, a great product, an incredible derby, and something else that's that wrapped around that derby to make it even better. You know, why wouldn't you want to go and spend an afternoon walking around and looking at all these great local businesses and talking with other fishermen and their families and really making a community? You know, what's wrong with that? If you can logically tell me why that's a bad thing, I'll listen to your argument. You know, if you can say to me, no, we shouldn't have fun, and here's the reasons I think, you know, no, you shouldn't put all this time and effort into creating something that's going to be fun for everybody. That's not a good thing. So, somebody, if you can make that argument, I'm willing to listen. Um, Yeah, I just saw Bob Rumbleseat's comments. Some of the vendors sitting behind their desk often have zero sales skills, even the owners. No question. I, I guess in my humble opinion, if you're an owner that hasn't quote unquote made it yet, that if you're not hungry enough to figure out how to talk to potential customers and sell them on you, because when you sales is selling you, you know. Mimi asked me to go down to the tackle shop and talk fishing with a bunch of people. All right, you know, I'll be there. I'll be there in a heartbeat, um, because I believe in what I'm doing and what we're all doing is good and fun, and it's going to be great. Boom. That's like the trifecta right there. Um, Ed Broser, right? Good evening. Stephen Eddy says you're cutting in and out. Maybe it's me, not sure. Well, I don't know. The wind's howling here. Since the sun went down, the wind has picked up dramatically. We had some pretty gnarly snow squalls go across the front door out over the lake today. Twice um, you couldn't see the lighthouse from the river, and then within minutes it was clear blue again and gone. So there was some pretty gnarly stuff. Um, Eric Wisniewski says, I've connected with several people over the last year that will be new lifelong friends. Amen. My wife can attest to that, because I'm not even at the 1 year anniversary from when the Awakening Angler really took off, because most people might not even know this is our 4th year doing the Awakening Angler. Courtney and I had 2 full years under our belt before this time last year, when she suggested to me that I do a daily fishing report. And I'm like, nah, I don't know. That she goes, well, you're out there every day. Why don't you tell people about it and that be part of what you do? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, that nobody will want to watch that. And within a week, things were cruising like I had only dreamed about. So, and in that time, I've met, look at how many people are around here right now that I didn't know this time last year, that I'm friends with, that I talk to every day. And there are even some of them that I've never physically, personally met. But that, I don't know, is less relevant. We have the technology to live apart and still be together, which no generation before us has ever really had that ability. I'm talking to 39 people right this very second. That could be 3,900 or 39 million. That's just a matter of who Jesus.
You were right the first time.
Who. I've met so many people and have people now in my life, in my inner circle, that a year ago I didn't know. That's incredible, and that's powerful, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Again, it's a good thing. Like, why wouldn't I want to meet good people? Why wouldn't all of us, like, again, I just think this is a larger version of what we're doing now. And WalleyeFest is going to be a chance. And remember too, one thing I always think about is, so I've been a fisherman and a hunter my whole life. I've been an outdoorsman since I was in middle school, when I knew what that meant. And Grant would take me out of school to, trout opener or deer season opener or whatever. And that's what he did. And I grew up around that. But I forgot what I was saying. Shit. Completely lost it.
Can't help you because I was not paying attention.
Yeah. I've met so many great people. So many great people doing this. And long before too, I've been a guide for 20 plus years, and the number of people, that's what I was saying. We're all like-minded. Everybody here in the comments right now, we're all like-minded. And what that means is that we have representation, we have a voice, and we have an identity, and we can do and be whatever we want with that. I always used to think when I was a kid growing up, because you never heard anybody cool or anybody that was like, I'm a fisherman, and this is, when I started watching the Linders, like, they were the first people that were like that, but I just thought, like, I've met friends that I went to high school with in the Facebook era that are like big hunters or big fishermen. I had no idea. And I look at some of these guys and I think to myself, I had no idea that guy was into that then. When I was in high school, I always thought, like, I had a couple of my immediate close friends that hunted and fished. We all did that together, but I just assumed everybody else looked at us like we were weirdos, and all the rest of the kids were doing other cool stuff, and it wasn't hunting and fishing. And maybe that was the case. Maybe there was only a few of us, but then there's a few of us from all over the place, and now there's a lot of us. And something like WalleyeFest, what could be easier to get behind? Like, WalleyeFest, right on, man. Woo! There's a woohooer in every crowd. I'm telling you right now. why wouldn't you want to be a part of that? Why wouldn't you want to be with other people theoretically like you? And everybody else will come because it's gonna be awesome. I don't know how else to say that. Keith Horns tuning in late from Florida, where it's probably warm and balmy. It's like a -10 wind chill outside right now. Rumble Seed, I get more joy doing things for others than I do for myself, kind of like you. Thanks, Bob. And yes, and listen, you for me. I mean, you have given me advice. You've offered assistance, and we've met in person one time. But yet you and I talk every day, and that's those kind of relationships, and I like that, and even more than all those relationships going through me, I like to know. I love seeing comments when everybody's talking to each other, because that's friendship, that's love, that's respect, that's a common thread. Oh, that's a good one. That's a common thread. Keith says he's still looking over his shoulder for gators. All right. Louis says we're coming in good. John Burroughs. John Burroughs is a perfect example. Don Birdie, who's on here somewhere. Those two guys introduced themselves to me last year out on the West End Drift, and the three of us hit it off. It's easy to hit it off with people when you have commonality, and I guess that's what I'm saying is we all have this commonality, and where there's some, there's more, and where there's more, there's many. John says it's a pleasure getting to know Courtney and myself. Same thing with him and his wife Linda. We've all went out to dinner, and Don and his girlfriend Gina. We've went out to dinner. We've met a lot of people.
Larry and Michelle.
Yeah, Larry, Michelle, and Paul and Debbie, and man, we've met a ton of men. We love it, love it, love it, love it. Untie your tongue. Lots of luck. Gail. Gail says, over 40 years ago, I took my two sons out on Captain Tony's Oneida Lake charter. They never forgot. The best gift in an Easter basket is a rod and reel. Yeah. So I have a spring birthday. My birthday's next week, and Easter is this time of year, and it was springtime, and March leads into April, and April 1st was opening day of trout season, and everything. Spring was always about fishing. Fall's hunting, spring is fishing. Even though there's spring turkey, fall is hunting, spring is fishing. And that's we took our daughter. Okay, so we took our daughter Gianna on a charter with Captain Tony 4 or 5 years ago.
When she came home from basic training, right?
No. It was long before that.
Oh, yeah, for her birthday.
Yeah, for her birthday.
Yeah.
So that was 4 or 5 years ago. Tony Buffa is personally responsible for my blade bait addiction. Okay? Let's just put that out there right now. He enabled me to become a dirty jigger. So that's on Tony, not me. DeGoo says, I have a charter book next week in Florida. Yay. Yeah, yay. Jealous. Count party of two. Yep. We're going someplace after WalleyeFest.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Someplace. We're going someplace after WalleyeFest. We haven't been on vacation in forever. A lot of people on this end of the lake are old school. We don't like the lime life. We want to pay $20, maybe win a raffle. We're not up in the limelight here, old school. That's what Mimi said. I understand that, Mimi. I always say that it's going to be awesome, and it is going to be awesome, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be the state fair of fishing to start the season off. And as we grow, we're going to have, more and cooler fishing stuff and vendors and stuff like that, because I want it to become something that carries on, really truly carries on the tradition of the Lions Club. The Lions Club Derby on Oneida Lake has been going on for 43 years, and I'm proud as a peacock to continue that. So one thing I will say to all of my old school friends, and I am not, believe me, my old school roots run pretty deep too. I fish out of a 1977 boat. That was my grandfather's. So I get you, and I appreciate tradition. But what I will say is some things have to change. And that doesn't mean that some people get left behind. We have ways, if you are not computer savvy or all that stuff, the guys at Lakeside have already said, and that's really the only retail tackle shop on the lake right now that's open. Rick is not open at Apps yet for probably another month. And I can go talk to Mike's. And see if maybe they would be interested in being able to do that as well. Well, we'll go out to Lakeside, but I mean on a daily basis of places where we can get people signed up, because I don't want to exclude anybody whatsoever. And I'll do my damnedest to make sure that I get everybody signed up that wants to be signed up, no matter what the situation. But we had no choice but to bring this derby into the 21st century. And it was solely lacking in that department. So here we are. Now we move forward. We keep everybody with us. We'll figure out a way to get everybody a ticket. Okay. Ed Roser. The only dud I ever saw who didn't like fun was Burgermeister Meisterburger. That is awesome. What a reference. That is which the year without a Santa? Is that what that was? Is that
or Santa Claus is coming to town?
Santa Claus is coming to town. It's the first one. The Burgermeister was the guy that made Kris Kringle not be able to give toys to everybody, and then he became Santa Claus. And Ed, love it. I love that reference. Perfectly timed too.
Try and say it like him.
No, I can't do it. I don't do impersonations. Vinny Shepard, my birthday is on Easter this year. What day is Easter?
I don't know, April something.
April something. We're gonna get ready to give Vinny a happy birthday song. April 1st, Chittenango Creek. Yep. I'm not telling you when my birthday is, Michelle. It's my birthday week. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. We are in my. Are we? No. Next week is my birthday week. And I'm going to do something special for next week's raffle. We got to get more ticket sales. We got to get more people out there. But I will do something special. I've got some things up my sleeve for next Saturdays. And remember, this Saturday, Mike Hoover. Mike Hoover. Bob, you're gonna be deleted. Bob,
you said it last week, I think.
No, I didn't.
You did. You said it on the live sometime recently.
Mike Hoover won this week's. What did he win?
Gift card.
Won the giveaway. Mike Hoover. Mike, I've got your info. I'll reach out to you, Mike. But I'm sure you'll see this. We were going to stop 20 minutes ago. Larry Kelly, that's very nice of you to say. He's giving me his ringing endorsement, and I love it. I appreciate it. Michelle, Bob's not telling the truth. He's just making that up. So don't say thanks, Bob, because Bob doesn't know. Bob doesn't know. And given Bob's history, especially tonight, is clearly that he can't be trusted as well. So let's remember both of those things when we talk about Mr. Rumbleseat. And I still remember, I love it, Bob. You were on such your best behavior that day. My guess is because your wife was sitting within arm's reach of you the day at the double live event when I gave you a live microphone. Oh, very funny. Oh, Don Birdie, let's celebrate that birthday at Ray's Brothers Barbecue.
Is that the one like an hour away?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's baked beans.
They are delicious. Ray Brothers is excellent. There's a lot of good barbecue in Central New York. I've not been, Courtney and I haven't went to that new place over in Beeville yet. I've heard mixed reviews from it, but the reviews that were good, everybody said it was great. So, all right, everybody. Mike Hoover, don't buy imitation crab meat. I mean, t-shirt, WalleyeFest t-shirts. Let's all have fun together. And I don't have a fourth. I don't have a fourth. Thanks. Good Saturday night chat. Yes, sir. Pond Pit. Yes, sir. Keep your tip up. Love you guys. Thank you.